Can I telekinetically crush his dragon?
No.
Yes, you can.
Dragon better watch its step.
Don't touch my dragon. My dragon. What should I name it? I forgot to name it. I'm gonna name it. Hold on.
What's the name of the dragon that died in Game of Thrones? Name it that.
No, fuck you. Don't touch my dragon.
Name it Sean Connery.
Or Mr. Bean.
That's a very odd name for a dragon.
I was thinking of, he's the one that voiced Draco from Dragonheart, right? Instead of Draco, just call him Sean Connery.
Yeah, Carter has to look at that and the piece you're showing the picture of, and it says, not the best picture I've ever seen, but from the looks of it, it looks like fuel injector booster for either a mech or a. And, yeah, it says if you have more than one picture of it, obviously, like, he looks at all the pictures. But yeah, it's basically either a vehicle or for a mech fuel injector to speed up to increase the performance of it by a large margin. It says, "Do you happen to have this piece here somewhere, or that's something you were thinking of buying?"
Oh, we have it. Bill's got it.
You might want to call me to get it.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
messenger and have her bring it to us.
Alright. Well, as I was going to quarantine, my anger kind of subsided because of the annoyance of quarantine. And I forgot why I was so angry for a second. I got the message from Brody, asked me to bring in that, and I'm like, alright, fine. So I teleport to my room. As I approach the black box, my dragon starts snapping at me. And I give him a stern look, show him who's boss, and be like, sit your ass down. And pull the box and head over to Brody to give it to him.
As you take up the piece, Brody, from the box, it's just as picture shows, and you move it around a bit. Carter looks at it, leans in, looks at it, and he says, "This fuel injector," and he shows to the on the right side of it, the free connector plugs underneath the central one. Says this would be perfect for combat mech or an attack chopper. And this is without a doubt a piece of pre-check. Yeah, he points out a couple of things and basically gives you a detailed rundown on the difference between the normal part, post-tech salvage part, and a pre-check salvage part. And this is most definitely one of the unique pieces that are not. It's not possible to manufacture these anymore.
We're keeping it.
How much would it be worth?
He scratches his chin a bit. Says, "Well, I'm not the best when it comes to judging prices, but at least $1 million. If the right buyer would be able
$1 million?
or interested."
And what does it do exactly?
You just said it was a fuel injector.
Yeah, but what does it do besides inject fuel? Does it make it go faster? How much of a speed boost? I'm saying $1 million, you can buy your own mech.
Yeah, and I can't buy this fuel injector either.
But do you need a fuel injector?
Yes.
He says he pulls out his compact and asks, "Can I take a picture of it? I might know some people who can give you a better idea of what it would possibly be worth."
And before we call them and they're like, oh no, actually it's a blender. It's worth like 20 credits.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time RNG has screwed people over.
When he says it's worth $1 million, I'm like, all right, I'll make sure it's safe, and I'll put it under my dragon again, and make sure my dragons are like guard duty. And if he sees anything that comes into mind that's not me, it'll alert me immediately with a video feed to my compact.
Yeah, he takes a picture of it and sends it to some contacts of his. Says, "I'll let you know when there's something." And I'll have my stuff cleared out as soon as I can. They're coming to pick it up now. And he pulls something out of his jacket and gives it to you, Brody. It's a compad, or sorry, not compad, small data slate, like printout. What's it called? Flash drive. That's the word. With something on it, like it's a normal like USB flash drive, basically.
Doesn't say anything about what's on it, or just hands it to me and leaves.
Nah, he hands it to you and says, "As thanks for helping me out. Some schematics I've been working on. What you might like to take."
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That he takes off his jacket, throws over his shoulder, and walks down the ramp. Stands there waiting for a truck to show. Yeah, if you were to slot that into a data pad or a compad or data slate, that it would be like some mod stuff, mod schematics for the ship that would improve certain areas. You still need the components for it and the money if you needed to buy the components. But now you have access to a variety of mods that you didn't have before. If you wanted to add a couple of those.
I'll have to look at them later.
So I'm back.
I'll write that down in that.
I was gone for like a minute, sorry. Did I miss anything important?
No.
Okay, good.
Alright, so Ben, what kind of jobs do you want here?
What is the main industry of this planet? Is it like a mechanical planet, or does that just happen to be what we are doing here?
So this planet, basically, are you familiar with the Forge world from Warhammer 40,000?
Yeah. That's basically a Forge world.
This is basically a Forge world in the desert, on a desert planet.
Nice. All right, so I'm going to look for some jobs here. I'm thinking maybe transport might. I mean, we could always do more transport, I guess, but maybe there's a like a resource station tied to this Forge world that needs some help, or anything like that. Actually, you know what I might do? I might ask around to see if there's any way to make money through purchasing assets somewhere else. Like maybe we could get mining rights to an asteroid or something like that. I'm thinking of like long-term investment though, like we later down the road hire people, put them on a planet, and just have money coming in while we're doing other stuff. Would that be a feasible thing to look into?
Yeah, so you basically want to open a business here.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, I'll try looking into that and see what kind of expenses in the beginning it might have.
All right. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking maybe. So where are you looking around for this then? There is a couple of bars, hotels, and such in the restaurants in the starport. So
Yeah,
there's drinking
yeah.
possibility.
Sorry, I'll say I do my normal thing where I go through the bars, but I'll say that I'm basically exchanging information, like I'm talking about some of the jobs we've recently done, and then the other people I'm talking to will talk about the stuff that they've been doing, and so maybe some of the people in the space station talk about being involved in some type of making steel for starships, or someone else is working as like the CTO of a corporation that makes computers for spaceships, something like that, like these sort of industry people. And so I start asking them about specifics, like what kind of down payment do you need to get a business started around here, and maybe get pointers from some of them to who I can ask to look into buying something. Or maybe a company that's not doing so hot is looking to sell one of their factories, and so I can come in under that. That's the kind of information I think I'll look for.
So some sort of business.
Yes.
I think I have just. I'm rolling this stuff up right now, and results are inconclusive to say the least.
Oh boy.
All right, I have a basic idea of what's going on,
We,
and I'm kind of liking it.
I just imagine like us buying a factory, and then it looks like a good deal, but then it's infested by mutant rat people.
That's also a good idea, because I recently played Fallout. There's always rat-infested mutants in factories.
All right. So would I make any roll here, or was that the Connect Charisma from earlier?
Yeah, I would say that's the Connect Charisma that you did. You rolled a 10 on that. So yeah, I think maybe some some small group of people sitting in one of the bars at the starport have probably been drinking a bit more than they really should have, and they're making jokes about person, apparently a CEO of some smaller company on this planet, who been a bit made a couple of unfortunate investments lately that has been more or less crushing the financial side of the company. So might have to relieve some assets, make back some profits. And yeah, it's from the details, and it probably takes you a couple of hours to go through all of this, but it's basically a company that creates manufactures ground vehicles, and they had two factories, but now one is closed because they couldn't hire any workers, and he is thinking about selling the whole factory with everything included, just so he can make back some money.
Okay. Yeah. Does you know what kind of ballpark figure he's looking to sell it for?
So apparently, it's called Gray Motors. A bit of a weird name, but what it's called. Yeah. He says, or he says rather, will either take 50,000 or a percentage of the profits for the first year, change for a lower price.
All right, so I'm going to shoot this offer over to Vel and Brody, maybe via text, and say, hey, explain looking for some sort of long-term investment while we're on this planet. Maybe set something up in the background, see if it'll go anywhere. This guy wants, what was it, 50,000 or basically a stake in our first year of business. What do you guys think?
50,000 and what? Sorry.
He wants 50,000 to buy this factory, and if we don't want to pay 50,000, then we could give him basically a stake in our first year of earnings from the factory in exchange for a lower price.
What does the factory do?
The company was called Gray Motors, so I assume probably makes, maybe vehicles or engines, but we could always ask. We might be able to outfit the factory to make something else too.
Yeah, I mean, we can buy it, but I would say figure out how much the maintenance cost is and how much profit we could make from it before we try and just get it.
Yeah, definitely. What type
But
of
we can
role
afford it, I think.
would that be to evaluate the sort of feasibility of this factory? Like, actually, you know what I'll do? I'll basically message him back and ask for a tour of the place.
I mean, he's sitting right there in the bar.
Oh, okay. I'm talking to him. My bad. Yeah, I'll say, well, maybe. It sounds like an interesting proposition. Do you think I could get a tour of the premises at some point?
Yeah, and I mean, he's probably like 1/8 of a whiskey down at this point, so he's fairly out of it. And he says, "Yeah, sure, I'll take you there myself if I can just find my keys." And he starts rummaging around in his pockets for his car keys. And yeah, the almost very close to empty whiskey bottle just sitting on the table between the two of you.
Yeah, I'll exchange compat information with him, and I'll say, how about you, sober up, call me in the morning, and then we'll look into seeing this place together.
I'll do that. He points at you when he says that. I'll see you tomorrow. And then he grabs the bottle, stands up and starts wobbling his way out.
Oh, he doesn't get finger guns.
That guy has a problem.
Yeah, and I think, as you're thinking that to yourself as he's trying to leave, he smashes face first into the door frame as he tries to open the door. And then on the third try, he managed to open the door and go, even though he scrapes the door frame on the way. Yeah, and he did not walk in a straight line at any point. Even if you're the most generous with the definition, it was not a straight line.
Mind you, just let this guy take his keys and go to his car or whatever vehicle while he's shit-faced drunk.
I mean, maybe the keys just start the car, but the car drives itself. I don't know how things work on this planet. Before he dies.
One of Hellforge's secret roles. Oh, he's dead. You call him tomorrow, so his mother or wife picks up, crying, what's going on? Oh, my son died in a car accident.
He wanted you to have this factory.
He was following the maps and let him down into the water. Goddamn Apple Maps.
He drove out of the space station.
I think we're on a planet now.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, maybe it's a space station on a planet.
He just drives his car into the airlock and then thinking it's his garage, and then it airlocks him out.
That would be the ultimate drunk moment. I got so drunk last night that I parked the car in space after I drove it out the garage.
You know that's going to happen one day.
That'd be beautiful.
Probably to me.
All right. So yeah, you have dinner day tomorrow, I suppose. The factory owner.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think maybe 4 hours go by as you're out drinking and asking around for things. Brody, about an hour or so after, maybe half an hour even after Ben left ship, after the customs official went, a fairly large truck pulls up. This is probably bigger than the normal one, and it also seems to be environmentally sealed. And as truck rolls up, Carter starts starts hustling his way to unload the cargo to the truck. You can help if you want, otherwise you can think that Brody does.
Yeah, I'll give a hand.
Yeah. As the ramp lowers to the truck, there is two cargo mechs that walks out, start lifting the crates inside the truck. And yeah, as the takes about like 15 minutes or so, load the whole thing, a lot of crates. Carter says you're welcome to come hang out in the pit with us. The tournament goes on. If you're interested in that, and he gives you a card with the address to the arena, and also on the back. Also, he gives you another one that basically VIP tickets, so you can so you have access to the pit if you want.
How could I not go?
Who knows? And yeah, after load everything up, next powers down inside the trailer with the cargo, and it says, "Well, if you show up, you're welcome to do so, and bring the others if you want as well. I'll see you there. Otherwise, thank you so much for helping me out with it."
No problem. I'll be there.
Gives you a smart salute, then he walks to the front of it, to the cab, and then the truck drives away. So right now, you are on board an empty ship, with almost empty ship with a dragon, a black box, and not entirely certain what Val is up to.
Drinking my sorrows away.
I might, since I've got nothing else to do, I might take a peek at the black box again. See if I can't figure out what's in it better.
What do you think will happen if we give the dragon weed?
Does it turn into a bomb? Since it spits fire? Can we use it to smoke?
I hate you guys so much.
For some reason, I want to picture the dragon as acting like an animal when we're all around, but then as soon as we leave, it like takes out a pack of cards and starts playing solitary or something.
Who knows?
I mean, it is AI control.
So you wanted to investigate the crate or the box, right?
Well, it's in my room, so unless he has access to my room.
I would assume he has.
I don't know. Maybe he could be courteous and send me a a text. Be like, hey, can I go in your room?
Why would
So,
you put it in your room?
Because that's where my dragon is. He liked the black box, so I put it on under him, protected.
I mean the box that had the detonator and stuff in it. We already
Ah,
know the one's the fuel
we already
injector.
gave that away.
Wasn't that
yeah,
the other?
no,
No,
you
no,
saw
no, no.
the detonated box on 206. That's the stuff you delivered there.
Oh,
And
yeah, I
then
Remember, we
now
got
you're
50K
on
for that.
306.
I thought we were keeping some of that as well.
No, no, no. We got rid of that.
Yeah,
I
so
think you wanted to look at the black box.
the only box you have left is the pre-tech salvage part, fuel injector, which is in Val's room underneath the dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm probably just chilling on the ship.
All right. So this planet, in case I haven't mentioned it before, you've been here before briefly. So it's basically a forge world from Warhammer 40,000. So there is factories from continent to continent, and heavy infrastructure in between to facilitate transports. The planet is mainly desert, so water has more or less just boiled away from centuries of pollution to the point where it's just scorching hot all the time. The atmosphere is uncomfortable to breathe, but it's not hazardous for short-term exposure. Yeah, pretty much that. But yeah, in terms of goods you can find there, like it's the availability of mechanical parts and such are second only to none, really. This is the place to be. This is where most of the production in the entire sector comes from. So it also has two moons orbiting it, and then there is a dense asteroid belt at the far end of the system.
I mean, I guess I can go take a walk and look around, but it's not a whole lot I can do with 36,000 credits.
Very true. But yeah, if you want, you can head to the bars, and you probably meet Ben there in some state of intoxication. He decides to drink or poke up as it.
Let me see. Oh yeah, I'm in the final stage. In fact, I'm actually coming down from being intoxicated.
Yeah, that probably makes sense. Wouldn't be out of character for that. But yeah, in terms of interesting things in the starport, it's really not a lot. It's hotels, bars, some shops where you can buy general equipment and some survival equipment. There is no, and maybe a tax-free shop if you want to buy some alcohol. Yeah, there is not much else to do in the starport itself. Like all the good stuff happens, in the city and the factories.
All right, so I guess I'll make my way to meet up with the guy to see this factory.
Yeah, so the day after, unless there is anything else the rest of you want to do. This was the 25th, yeah, so
Yes.
26th. Right, yeah. So midday on the planet after you all had a long rest. Fucking hell, I can't even form a coherent sentence. Anyway, long rest. Yeah, Ben, do you bring the others with you or do you go yourself?
I'll announce that I'm going, and if either of you guys want to come with me, you're welcome to do so. I'll message you the before I complete the deal, regardless.
Nah, I think I'm gonna go looking around for some kind of jobs I can just do quickly. Maybe some kind of like transport jobs. Maybe somebody needs some healing, psychic healing. Anything I can do just to make some money because I'm kind of running out.
Right, Brody, what are you up to?
I'll go with Ben, since I'm not really doing much. I'll go meet him.
Yeah, so you head off probably midday, maybe 1 p.m. or so. You get a call, get a message rather, and say, "Hey, I want to go check out the factory. I'm waiting at the bar where."
Yep. So I'll just gather up Brody and then meet him at the bar.
Let me grab something to drink. I'll be right back.
I rolled for that, by the way. Like this. Oh, yeah, so you meet him up. It's same as before, though. Clearly more sober. Older gentleman. Middle-aged. Or higher ends of middle-aged. Or maybe some gets into salt and pepper kind of thing. And yeah, he greets the both of you. It looks like he's still suffering the ill effects of yesterday's bender, but apparently cleaned up a bit more. Still, 5 o'clock shadows saved this morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, he seems coherent enough, like yesterday. Greets to both of you and says, my car is just outside. Go whenever.
Yep. So I'll step into the car.
Yeah. And so you all get in. He starts it up, and like this car, it seems to be environmentally sealed, which probably a good thing. This area, and he, as he starts up the car, he turns on the air conditioning, so it's a comfortable like 20 degrees outside instead of the scorching hot outside. And yeah, because it's midday, it's probably like 50 degrees outside in the polluted areas. And yeah, he also taps the GPS and says it'll be about 2-hour ride the factory. And then he after he taps in the corners on the GPS, he starts driving.
Yeah, I'll just make small talk most of the time and basically talk about what I'm hoping to get out of the factory, and also talk about, as time goes on, I'll eventually probably end up talking about some of the jobs we've ended up doing.
Yeah, he listens to it, and makes the appropriate noises where you should. And he, in return, starts talking about the plans he had when he opened the second factory. The first decade or so, company was working. It was going so well. They were selling the cars, new products were rolling out, and expanded into the second factory, and then all of it just went to hell. With some bad business investments, and now he's where he has to sell the factory again because he made some poor investments on the stock market.
Was he the one that built the factory, or did he buy it from someone else?
He bought the first one, and then he built the second one, and now he has to sell the second one because he doesn't have enough money to maintain it.
Okay.
I was about to ask, are we getting both or just one of them?
Just one, just a new one.
Are we just getting the location and the building, or are we getting the equipment inside as well?
You get everything with the listed price, everything, the location and everything inside as is. I don't have enough to maintain it anymore, and I have nowhere to store the equipment if I were to keep it. So you can have everything.
That's cool.
Just making sure we don't buy it, then we show up and he cleared it all out and we spent all that money on an empty building.
Just remember, we already have a monthly maintenance fee for shit. Make sure we don't have to pay a lot more to maintain this place.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that.
Alright, look at how much maintenance, how much we'll make out of it. Like, asking for his figures, like, how much did he make when he was profitable?
I mean, yeah, I could ask that. He hasn't been profitable recently, but when business was good, how much of turnaround did he see on it?
He says, I don't know from the top of my head because my plant manager would keep in track of that on their end of things. But I'll show you the books for it. Full disclosure of everything when we get there.
All right.
I simply can't afford to keep it right now. It's too much cost from what I have, and company doesn't make enough to sustain it. Yeah, if there isn't anything else, I think casual small talk for the rest of the drive. But when you get there, like you roll into the factory area itself, fairly big plant. I don't have the exact numbers in my head. Who has that? Really? But yeah, it's a decent size, like I would say a medium-sized factory. Has, on the outside at least, it has 3 loading bays where you can have trucks park to load in the stuff. And it has smaller entrance where the staff would go in, and then it has loading bay, the 3 loading bays, and also one larger garage door where you can drive in the truck to load indoors. Yeah,
Okay.
he goes through the facility and shows you around. And
I'm picturing a kind of futuristic factory where most things are automated. You just have workstations for basically programmers and technicians. Is that what this basically is?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And yeah, as you're walking through the production floor, it says at peak capacity we can produce maybe 15 cars an hour here, 15 to 20 depending on the size and specs.
Okay.
Most of it is automated with control staff at the workstations programming the robots to put all the stuff together. And then he, yes, as he's talking, he points out pieces of equipment to show what he's talking about. All right, now everything is turned off. There's a power in the building, but all the machinery is turned off. And he goes through it. So you have the main manufacturing floor, like you have the intake where all the materials come in, and then it gets separated and shipped to each station, each assembly station, and then there is the painting station and where you do the finish and all that, and then rolls off the floor, then off to the waiting truck, or off to the waiting trailer, right? And yeah, and after that, after he shows you the production side of things, he takes you into the office and shows you the book. So if you want, you can roll me a what would this be? No intelligence, I think.
Either know or administer is the only ones I can think of. So I guess no intelligence.
Yeah, it would. I'm trying to find it right now because I'm not entirely certain.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it would be administrate. Because that's the managing an organization, handling paperwork, analyzing records.
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Brody, do you have that as well?
Have what administer?
Yeah.
I do not. It's a -1.
Alright, can I spend, if this is a new scene, can I spend a reroll?
Yes.
I can still roll it for the hell of it, though, right?
Yeah. Just would be a bit of a headache. Yeah, I think if you were to try it, it would be a flat 2d6. Yes, you don't help. So yeah, Ben, as you're looking through the books here, what kind of things were you interested in? Like you said, like 15 to 20 cars an hour under peak production. That's what I can put together here. Obviously, if you make cars easier, less less time intensive to make, less complex. Obviously, you can roll out more cars or vehicles.
Yeah, so here's an idea that I have. From what I have been talking to him about, his business, he's basically just been making cars and selling them. Like, he doesn't have any other connected business prospects, right?
As far as you know, yeah.
Okay, as far as I know. And so, since we have a ship, I figure we can maybe retrofit the factory. I mean, we could still make vehicles, probably that would be the easiest thing. Like retrofitting this thing to make the factory to make something completely different would probably be expensive. But if we could make, for example, all-terrain vehicles, and then we could, find somewhere to sell them, we could load up our own ship or pay for someone else to ship it. And then if we're not making money selling cars on this planet, then we could basically truck them somewhere else where they are, selling really well and sell them that way. That's kind of what I'm thinking there. This is connected to the administrator role as well when I'm analyzing the business prospects.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a really good idea. Absolutely.
Okay. And we don't have to have like stats for this right now. This is just something I want to have going in the background. I don't expect it to be immediately profitable or anything.
Yeah. But was there anything else you wanted to know about the records?
Yeah, so the other thing I'm checking, which is basically just a standard sort of thing, surveying the documents, I'm just making sure that, the factory is up to date on everything. There's no like shoddy construction, there's no like records that seem obscured or suspicious. If everything seems above board, and if I have determined that it is likely for us to make money with this eventually, then I'm content.
All right. Yeah, I think as you're flipping through everything, and he shows you all the inspection papers, like construction inspection and fire inspection, and basically everything that needs to. And as far as you can tell, it all looks the way it's supposed to. So everything seems to be above board. Yeah, it also comes down to there's a roughly a 5,000 maintenance cost per month for the maintaining the factory and the environmental seal on it, because it's such a polluted environment outside that you need special like filtration units to basically not choke people to death on the production floor.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's $5,000 a month maintenance for it, and that includes the rent of the property as well, like the land piece with
Yeah.
utilities, so power and water and all that.
Okay, cool. By analyzing business prospects, do I have an idea of how much money it will likely make given the current economy?
If you were to, eyeballing the records, if under optimal conditions, if you were selling 100% the stock you were making, and it was favorable prices for the raw materials, combined with low salary staff, it would not be out of the realms of possibility to make maybe 100,000 a month before taxes.
Okay. So yeah, I'll send that to Brody and Vel, and I'll say, yeah, I'm confident that if this factory is firing on all cylinders, then we could make about 100,000 a month. The rent on the property, rent, maintenance, everything that I've calculated comes up to about 5,000, and so I believe this could be a profitable business venture. In addition, I would like to add that this is one of the few assets that we've acquired so far. So we already have a base for storing valuables and stuff we don't want people to know about. Now we could have a factory, and then later we might have like a mine we could hook to the factory. So that's the other thing I'd like you guys to consider. What do you guys think?
I mean, from what it sounds like, it doesn't take much for the factory to make a profit, although the 5,000 doesn't include worker pay, right?
Yeah, I think that was minimal worker pay. We'll probably spend more than 5,000 to maintain it once everything is said and done, but
I mean, even if we barely, let's say the monthly cost ends up being like 10,000 a month, even if we make 20,000 a month, that's still a nice profit every month that we weren't making before. As long as it at least pays for itself, I don't see a problem.
yeah, we can give it a try. If it doesn't work out, we can cut our losses and sell it. But yeah, so unless you have anything to add, Vel, I'll go ahead and purchase it.
I'm good.
I can throw in to help buy it if needed.
I can as well.
We have ship money. Because we still have, so... how many days until we have to pay the monthly maintenance for the ship?
Monthly is by what is it? Every 6 months.
I thought it was every month. That's monthly, yeah. It's 12,500 every month.
Wait,
Sorry.
what? So maintenance.
Yeah, sorry. What was the other thing that we have to pay?
Down payment on the ship. So you're basically paying
No,
off
you said you put the maintenance and the down payment in the one thing, didn't you? When we first started?
They're two different things.
Oh, then what's the 6-month thing that we have to pay?
It's maintenance.
No. Every 6 months, how much do we have to pay? Because you never told us that.
I have no idea. I thought it did it on the sheet.
I don't know.
I'm looking this up right now.
Yeah, I don't.
All right, so we're not gonna be traveling. So we have 300 plus 150 plus 50 minus 54,000. So how much money do we have on the ship total? 30, 41 plus 15 plus 50 minus 54. So we have 176K on the ship total. I was thinking we should pay off next month and then split the money, maybe buy the factory and then split the money evenly. How do you guys think?
Alright, so every 6 months is 5% of total non-crew costs. Basic maintenance. So 107, page 117.
There's a maintenance cost here, but I wasn't sure. So it says 38K. Is that it? Would that be
it's
it?
like 750,000.
And that's five. You said 5% of that.
Yeah.
Wait, okay? So I think you were talking about the 5% of maintenance, right, Hellforge?
I mean, that's what it says here. It's 5% of total non-crew cost.
Yeah. So every month we pay off a little bit of the ship, which comes off of that 7,000 or 775,000, and that happens every month. But every 6 months we have to pay to maintain the ship, and that's 5% of the ship cost, right?
Okay. I thought every month we were paying the maintenance. So over here, so 5% is 37, but on the sheet it says 38. So I don't know why it's like that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
because
don't
I
know.
added one. Because I added the ship locker, so it increased the cost.
Okay, so all right. So every 6 months we have to pay 38K, which we have 2 months for that. I'm saying, do you guys want to pay the monthly cost like a little early this month and then split the monies?
Yeah, sounds good. Pay it early, and then what do you call it? Buy the factory and then split the money.
Yeah, 500. I'm gonna just minus. How much is the factory total right now?
50,000 if we want to just buy it and own it completely ourselves.
Yeah, I think we should, especially if it,
I think so as well. Especially if we just have it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're down to 113. So I'll just erase everything here. Just put 113. So now we own the factory. I don't know how you guys want to do that.
I mean, we already have a property owned sticker, I think.
Yeah, we have paid next month, so I'm gonna months paid 4 now. Question. Sorry, I was thinking. I forgot. Are we gonna do any more jobs today, or you think should we split the money now? It's 11:15, so I don't think we'll be getting any more money today, right?
Yeah, I guess we can split it.
So let me. A moment. So -6. Oh, right. Okay, so I'll do this. So the ship will have 38k about, and each of us get 25k. That should equal to about 113k. So add to your personal sheet 25k. That's after we buy the.
All right, cool.
So all right. Ooh, 37. So if you guys want to buy something else while we're, you guys can always do that.
I wonder if they have a discount next door.
The cheap mechs. They have cheap mechs, they just don't want the cheap ones.
Let's just get the off-brand brand.
Hawaii.
So what's the plan now that you have the factory?
I'll leave that to Ben. He is the factory manager. I have other things that interest me.
Yeah, I'm gonna write down some basic info that I can remember off the top of my head for the factory in the property owned notes when I get a second. But my current plans for the factory is I'm going to start by going to anywhere I might be able to hire labor, like their equivalent of a hiring agency here. And I'll look to hire some skilled people that can run a factory. And so far, I'm gonna start off by having them basically make cars that the factory is already, geared to make, and then maybe later down the road we'll specialize or retrofit the factory or something.
Sounds good.
All right. Yeah. So after you sign all the contracts, shake hands on it, drives you back to the starport again. Bid you all a good afternoon. Out again.
What was the planet we were on called again?
I don't remember.
In Rio City.
Should we all write? You want to write that down on the ship notes as well, so we know? We should also write on the ship notes, probably on the left side, the Calixis, right? So, what is this? Calixis Prime, we have a warehouse. And that would be 505. 505 Calixis by warehouse. And then the other thing is 30, what?
Chardonnay.
306.
306 Chardonnay. Dennis. And this is gonna be vehicle. Is it car, man?
Yeah, yes, right, ground vehicle.
Factory. Alright. Great. So I put that down on the left side of the shit notes where the total cost and all that.
Alright, sorry, what was that?
You wrote it down on the ship sheets as well.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Our warehouse and our manufacturing part.
Can you guys see the property owned thing as well?
Can't you edit that one yourself?
Yeah, I just edited it. I don't know. I assume you guys can see it.
Yeah, it's there.
Ships and vehicles. Property on ICN. Great. The reason I put them down at the ship thing is in case we have to pay, like you said, the maintenance and everything. When I did the math, I want to just have everything in one place. The warehouse, I don't believe needs any maintenance. The factory, you said, might need at least 5K.
Right. So I think this is towards the end of the day, the 26th, when you're all back together again. Yep, for a starboard at least. So, if I understand it correctly, uh, you want to check out the mech tournament on the first. Is this an accurate assumption?
Yeah, I think so for Brody.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
I mean, I might as well just watch it. Not interested in cars and mechs too much, but always love seeing some action.
Is there anything you want to do before that happens? Or should we just fast forward to that?
I was gonna look for some like security or healing jobs, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. We can just fast forward.
All right. Yeah, I'll have something prepared for next session then. But yeah, unless there is anything you want to do right now, I think we probably call it here. So,
All right, that sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
Just looking at things I can buy. Got 0 XP, guys. We got negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negatives XP. We did really bad this time.
all right, so other than the mech fight stuff, what do you want to do after that or around that? Bag,
Probably, I guess Ben would probably set up his the factory to just run with the manager and everything. I was gonna go around looking for some kind of like because the what's it called the because of the mech I guess fights. I was gonna try and see if I can be help with security and or healing people that are in mechs with psychic powers for premium costs. They probably want their pilots up and running as fast as they can. Things like that.
Maybe I can help Carter out with something pertaining to the fights.
If we want to sell something that we have, like a weapon or something, do we get our money back for it or no?
It's not listed price. Have to be a trade roll cost for.
I was wondering.
Alright, so right now it's the mech fight. Look into setting up the factory, healing security stuff, and then help Carter with stuff. Is there anything else?
For now, that's it, I think, for me.
Yep, that sounds good to me.
Right now, I'm just trying to earn enough money to get that person. Trying to level up, basically, to get a certain skill I want. And enough money to hire the PI. That's my midterm goals.
Right, I'll have something prepared for next session. Thanks for the game, y'all.
Thank you.